What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters. Welcome to No Life to Metal. It's time for an edition of What's Spinning, and this is one of those ones I do in my car. It's just stuff I've been spinning in my car, or in my office, or at home, whatever, on a CD player. But in this case, I got a nice pile of CDs here. I haven't done one of these videos in a while, but decided there was a few CDs I wanted to show, and I wanted to be able to play a little bit of them in the background. I'll probably get a copyright strike from YouTube, but hey, I just kind of want to give you guys a sample of some of the stuff I'm listening to. So honestly, this CD here has been in my CD player constantly. This is the brand new Triton, the third album from the 80s band, who was often compared to Rush, but as you can hear here, it does not sound like Rush anymore, although you can still hear some of the Rush style vocals in Larry Dean's voice. So the band here, turn down a little bit, the band here is, of course, founder, vocalist, guitarist, songwriter Larry Dean. On bass you have Jim Laverty, who played in Barren Cross, among others. Probably most known for his work at Barren Cross, though. And then Eric Gillette, who is just a musical prodigy. The guy can play any instrument, and he's played in several well-known bands, but he's probably most known for his work with the Neil Morse Band. And he also played with Mike Portnoy, and I knew I was going to forget the name of the band, so I wrote it down on a little sticky note. Mike Portnoy's Shattered Fortress. I always forget the name of it. But in any case, it's just a great CD. Let me fast forward a little bit through this. Let's see here. Let's put on Blood of Kings. How does that sound? I like every song on here. Blood of Kings is a fantastic song. Last Night in Dubai, musically very progressive, kind of Dream Theater-ish at times, although not to the point of experimental sounding. It's just very melodic, progressive, hard rock and heavy metal, and I just love this album. It's got hooks. The songs are all kind of long. I think the shortest song on here is like 6 minutes long, but most of the songs are 7-8 minutes long, and a couple even maybe longer than that. So there's one instrumental on here called the Godstorm, which is a fantastic guitar solo. The keyboard playing on here is just otherworldly. That's Eric Gillette, as is the drumming. Yeah, just a great album from them. I really think it's the best thing they ever recorded. So, Triton, Blood of Kings. As you can hear, this part's more mellow. It's just got ebbs and flows with, melodic parts, heavy parts, total jams, keyboards and guitar solos intermixing together, and fantastic album from them. All right, next up, let's see. I'm gonna let them play for a little longer, and I'll pull something out here. All right, this one is one I don't have to sing, because I'm sure everybody's heard this band before. But I just got into a King's X mood and started spinning some King's X, and this is their first album. It's still among one of my favorite albums. Texas groove metal with Doug Pinnick on vocals. Doug's got that very soulful voice. They kind of have some of those, like I said, melodic, heavy. It's just, the album's got it all. Anyhow, King's X, if you don't know who King's X is, I'd be surprised, but often called a musician's band. They were never hugely popular, among the mainstream, but a lot of musicians love this band, and I absolutely love this band as well. Yeah, just great stuff. These guys just had great vocal harmonies. Like I said, groove metal from Texas, great stuff. Oddly enough, I have a bunch of Texas stuff in here today. The song on here called Ricochet is great too. Last Night in Dubai, it's another great song. Yeah, I'm really stoked about this album. This will be one. I doubt this will get knocked off one of my favorites of 2021. It's just that good, and it is going to be coming out on vinyl, I believe, this year. I don't know, there's no announced date yet, but it is coming out on vinyl as well, as far as I know. Yeah, so it'll be a double vinyl because it's a long album. Okay, enough of that. I'll just sit here and listen to this album because I'm really digging it. All right, next up, a couple of bands who kind of have a throwback 70s vibe. This band was formed in 2002. And this is actually their third album. This is Death Ride. There's actually two different covers on this one. This is the original cover. The cover that came out a year after this one had like kind of this retro 70s disco looking cover, which I didn't like as much as this one. This is the original pressing, original sound. Henry Vasquez of St. Vitus on drums. On this particular album, you've got Derek St. Holmes of Ted Nugent, Whitford St. Holmes, among others, on vocals. This is definitely got a 70s vibe. I gotta play some of this because this is spectacular stuff as well. Very different from what I just played. Doesn't sound like Triton. Huge, influences from like Deep Purple and Uriah Heep and that sort of thing. You got your heavy Hammond organ stuff mixed with your heavy guitars and lots of jams and great vocals. Fantastic drumming. Henry Vasquez just destroying the drum set on this album. As you can hear, it kind of has that 70s vibe. Lots of jamming keyboards, lots of jamming guitar solos. It's a fantastic album, and oddly enough, another Texas band. So this, like I said, I think this is their third album. I think they have like 6 albums total, maybe 7. But well worth picking up if you can find a copy. I actually have a CD copy of this with the other cover as well. I picked up this one recently on a Texas trip for only $7 on CD, and so had to grab it for only $7 because it's such a great album. To get going. I'm already 8 minutes into this video and I've only shown what 2 or 3 CDs. All right, another band that has that kind of 70s vibe. This is a band from Sweden. This is Modest Attraction. Now this band here, I love the look here. This is actually a 90s album, probably about 1996. This is the second album from this band. Hugely influenced by like again, Deep Purple. I hear a lot of Uriah Heep and the Sweets kind of mixed all together. So you get kind of the hooks of songs like, bands like the Sweets, songs like Action, not the more popular stuff, but the kind of the more rockin' stuff from the Sweets. And then definitely hear some Uriah Heep in here and some Deep Purple and that sort of thing. And they're purposely going for that 70s vibe here. And in the 90s, 1996, this was not in vogue. These guys put out 2 full-length albums. They're still actually around. They still do shows and stuff. They have I believe these albums are going to be reissued shortly, and also I believe all their old demos are going to be coming out on CD as well, which is cool because their demos are fantastic. Now the vocals from this band, gosh, it's so good album. Anyhow, the vocalist from this band, Christian Lilgren, say that 3 times fast. He is, of course, known for his work with Narnia, but he's played in a bunch of other different bands. Style-wise, he's been all over the place. Narnia is a fairly well-known band. They've toured with Dio. Most of their albums are on Nuclear Blast, so they're a fairly well-known power metal band. But the guitar player, CJ Grimmark, also has played with this band at one time or other, although he did not play on this particular album. So yeah, Modest Attraction. You know what, I'm just going to pop this one in too, and I'll show the next one while I'm playing it. But the one thing that told me back again, this is all music I've really been listening to and digging, so I'm just like really into all this stuff, so not playing it is not an option. Alright, so let me put the CD away, and while that one's going, we'll spin this one, and you'll definitely right off the bat on this intro here hear the Uriah Heep influence. With that heavy Hammond organ sound. So there you go. That kind of gives you a little taste of that. But great band. I know these guys are working on reissues of their 2 albums. I think it was The Truth in Your Face was their first album, and Divine Luxury is their second album. And like I said, I know the band is working on reissues of both of those albums, so keep your eye open for those, or ear open, or whatever you want to do, because highly worth getting. You definitely hear that sweet in that influence in that chorus. Anyhow, great band as well. All right, another Texas band. Was in Texas recently, and I will be doing a Texas video of showing stuff I picked up while I was out there on that trip. But even before Texas, I was jamming to quite a bit of Solitude, Aeturnus, melodic doom metal from Texas. Here's that chorus again. All right, enough of that. So here you got vocalist Robert Lowe, who's played in several other different bands. Very well-known vocalist. Most recently, he was in Tyrant, I believe. He recorded with their 4th album with them. But also, you've got guitarist John Perez, who I got to meet while I was over there. He was actually working in Henry Vasquez's store, Born Late Records, in Texas. And I brought this CD along to get signed by him, and as you can see, he signed it Doom. And he signed John Perez, obviously. But I noticed while I was there, everybody that I was with, including everybody in the store, affectionately call him JP. So that must be his, moniker to his friends. And it was fun, oddly enough, that when I checked out after I bought a couple records from the store, he's like, I said, thanks again for signing my CDs. And he goes, oh, dude, don't worry about it. Thanks for making me feel like a rock star. So I thought that was really cool. He's a really nice guy. So if you ever get a chance to go into that store in Texas called Born Late Records, it just may very well be JP, John Perez, behind the counter checking you out. So. Man, it's a good album. And so I'm loving all this stuff. All right, next up, a band I actually only recently got into, again, due to my trip to Texas. And I picked up a few albums from this band, but this particular album is the one I've been listening to quite a bit. This is total departure from the rest of the stuff I've been playing. This is total thrash metal. I mean, fast, brutal, heavy thrash metal, featuring rigor mortis vocalist Bruce Corbin, who passed away just a couple years ago, actually, 2019, I believe, from cancer, I think it was. Unfortunate. But regardless, he leaves back a legacy of music, and I'm sure is in a much better place these days. And this is their second album called Destroy, produced by Phil Anselmo from Pantera fame, among others. But this is great stuff. If you like straightforward, brutal thrash metal, especially if you're a fan of rigor mortis, you got to pick this up. This is fantastic stuff. Again, Texas thrash metal. These guys have several albums out. I'm actually in the process of working on getting some of their stuff onto the nolifetilmetal records.com site for sale. So I'll let you guys know when that's, if they're there and when they're there. So War Beast, Destroy. Fantastic thrash metal from Texas. All right, new album, third album from this band. These guys just don't stop. This is Perpetual Paranoia. Gave this one a spin all the way through once. I haven't really digested it yet, unlike the rest of these albums that I've been addicted to. I just recently got this one in the mail. Thought I'd show it anyhow because it's a brand new album from them. So you've got Tiago James Sosa, who is here listed just as Tiago James. And then Dale Thompson from Bride fame on vocals. This is definitely some of the heavier stuff that Dale ever sings, so much heavier than Bride. A lot of people call them thrash metal. Maybe. I don't really call them that. They're just a little more modern sounding than... that Modest Attraction. Yeah, why don't I pop this in real quick so you can hear a little sample of this while I'm talking as well. So this is the Perpetual Paranoia. Again, it's more modern. So to say it's, you know, thrash metal, to me, it is a bit deceiving. I think it's more of a modern metal style. Which obviously you can hear is very heavy and chaotic. Take me to the gallows. So there you go, that's Perpetual Paranoia, the third album titled Hellfest on Retroactive Records. BoonsOverstock.com has it. You probably can get it on Amazon too, but Boone's Overstock is the source of where you can get that from. Alright, sticking with the thrash metal theme, the next three are all thrash metal. I've shown this one before. I'm not going to get too deeply into it, but just one of my favorite bands from Canada, Entropy. This is Ashen Existence. These guys had a new album out in 2020 that I'm dying to get and just cannot seem to find a CD copy. If any of the guys from Ashen Mortality see this video, or anybody who knows that band, have them contact me because I really want to get a copy of that new album from them. Love this band. Just again, straightforward thrash metal. These guys are playing thrash metal in the late 90s and in the 2000s when it was just not in vogue, which is unfortunate because they're a great band. But thrash metal was basically overlooked for at least a decade. People love it now. You know, in the 2000s, it kind of a surge and a resurrection, and there was all these new bands out there. You know, some bands rising to the top like Havoc and Vector and whatnot. But regardless, these guys were doing it even before all those bands, and were doing a great job of it. So, Entropy, Ashen Mortality. I believe this was their one of their earliest, 1992. Might even be their first. I can't remember. That song's called The Martyr. All right, Norwegian thrash band Equinox. I was on I don't know, some social media site, and we were talking music, and someone mentioned Equinox from Norway, and I'm like, oh man, great band, haven't heard them in a while. So I dug out their first album. They have 4 albums out that I'm aware of. I have all 4 on CD, love them. Unfortunately, they're kind of difficult to get. They need to be reissued bad and remastered, but regardless, if you can find a copy of these guys, really solid thrash metal from Norway. This album is called Auf Wiedersehen. I think that's how you pronounce it. As you can see, it's RCA Records, old school, original pressing. This album was from, let's see if I remember a year. I know it's early 90s, but I can't remember the exact year. Might even been 89. Of course there's no year on here. It's made in Austria, so we got that going for us. 89. Find a itty bitty type on the bottom on the inside. 1989. Auf Wiedersehen by Equinox. Alright, this next one I'm going to play as well.
Sense to bundle your home and
turn the... You guys don't care about bundling your home and auto insurance right now, nor do I. And we're going to stick in the new reissue EP, the last thing that David Wayne recorded with his band Reverend. This is the Gathering of Demons EP. Now this thing's been out of print for years. I have an original copy. This is a reissue. It has 12 songs total. So it's got a remixed version of the EP. It's got the original mix of the EP. So It's got a UFO cover of Lights Out, which was not on the original EP. It's got 2 live tracks, Legion and Start the Fire. Of course, Start the Fire being the metal church song. And David's vocal recording in the studio, which is the last track. So this is the new remix. And to be very honest, I'm gonna go to the original version. I like the original mix better. It's brighter, the guitars are more distinct. It's just, the other one seems bassier and muddier to me. You can just hear right here, it's a lot cleaner. Yeah, neither mix is perfect. And perhaps it's just I'm used to this mix, you know? It's hard to say, but... But regardless, cool to have this out again on CD. And I'm going to play the cover of Lights Out, because that's fantastic. I've actually never heard that before this. Booklet's got a lot of information in it, lots of photos. Really wish I could have helped these guys out and done some layout work on this, because I mean, it's not bad at all. Actually, I like some of the layout, but the photos need a little bit of help. A lot of them are muddy and could have been brightened and sharpened a little bit. But still, very nice booklet with lyrics, lots of photos. There's David Wayne himself. So you can really tell here what I'm talking about with these are these 3 here. They're supposed to be black and white 8x10 glossies, which is what they are. But you can see they have a really bad scan tint to them. They're like yellowed, and I would have cleaned those up, made them just look sharp. But in any case, that's just me. I'm a designer, so everything, I'm picky about stuff like that. So there you go, kind of a thrash metal rendition of UFO's classic Lights Out in London, which of course is a first UFO, we're a first wave of a British heavy metal band. Alright, I got 2-3 more. I'm gonna get through these because this is gonna be a long video. Brand new Detritus. This is Myths. If you look very closely at the top, you can kind of see the Detritus logo popping through. Kind of hard to see, and at the very bottom it says Myths. But that is the cover art, and here is the back, and you can see the band logo much better there. UK thrash band, of course. These guys put out 2 albums in the early 90s. They formed in the mid to late 80s, and then they kind of disbanded for a while, and they came back together, and this is their newest release since. A good album. I've only got to spin it once or twice. I just recently got this in the mail. If you're expecting thrash, it's not thrash. It's more straightforward metal, power metal, pushing towards like speed metal and at times, but never really going toward that full-on thrash like they were back in the day. Anyhow, so there you go, brand new Detritus for 2021. This is on Retroactive Records, so it's available through boonsoverstock.com on CD. I believe there is vinyl coming as well. But the vinyl's not out yet, and I definitely don't have a copy yet. All right, this next band I've been aware of for decades, didn't know that this was even out. But I got this directly from Stony G, the guitar player, who very kindly sent me this album, and he actually sent me 2 CDs. This one and one other, which I'll show next. I played this one first because I'm aware of who Bifist is. Bifist are a power metal band. And I say power metal, you're going to think, you know, it's not like that double bass all the time, Dungeons and Dragons, flowery power metal. This is like US power metal, you know, along the lines of Metal Church and Heretic and Reverend. And I mean, to me, that's just straightforward heavy metal right there. That is heavy metal. And this is a fantastic album. Eric Wayne actually had a part in producing one of their old demos or something like that. I know somehow there was an Eric Wayne connection to this band. And you can see Stony there, Stony G, Stony Grantham, guitars. This is really cool. A little in-memory section in the back. Again, great stuff. So I played that one first. I didn't want to play both at the same time, assuming that they're the same style of music, and that, you know, sometimes if you get too much music at one time, you kind of just ignore it. You know, if you don't actually take it in and give it a good listen like I did with this one, you just tend to throw it to the side and never go back to it. So I really wanted to check this one out, and I put the other one aside and waited several weeks before I spun it. I finally did break that one out, and this is a band called Shadow Keep. And again, this is just straightforward heavy metal. Doesn't sound exactly like Bifist. And one of the big things about this one was, as I'm listening to it, I'm like, man, that vocalist, he's fantastic. He sounds like James Rivera. James Rivera from, of course, Hellstar, among many others. Always been one of my favorite vocalists. If you ever watched my other channel, The Metal Roundtable, several weeks ago we did this kind of Mount Rushmore of metal figures, and James Rivera somehow became our #1 pick to become the vocalist in this Mount Rushmore band. So anyways, so yeah, James Rivera singing on this thing. Wow, Shadow Keep is fantastic. If you like, you know, that US heavy metal, power metal, whatever you want to call it style, you're gonna like this band. They are really good. So I'm gonna cut it here because this is a 30-minute video now, but I really want to show some stuff I've been listening to. I appreciate you all watching. Thank you so very much for your support of the channel. Leave a comment below. I try and get back to as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. That's it. God bless. Stay strong.